Around 5 years ago, I launched my watch channel. And in the first video that I posted, I talked about the Bulgari Octo Finissimo and how it was such an underrated watch in that integrated bracelet design category. But there was always a problem with the Octo Finissimo, and that is that it was made for a specific size. If you didn't have the right size, it wouldn't work. But with this new release, Bulgari might have just perfected the Octo Finissimo. This is the new Bulgari Octo Finissimo, now in a compact 37mm titanium case with a thickness of just 6.45mm and a maximum lug-to-lug of 47mm with those male end links. So it wears exceptionally well on my 6.2-inch wrist. You get 30 meters of water resistance, flat sapphire crystals on both the front and back, along with a gorgeous ultra-thin in-house micro-rotor caliber BVF 100 with 72 hours of power reserve and a beat rate of 3 Hz. Now, there's a lot to like here, but there are some challenges, not necessarily with the watch itself, but a few things around this release, which I'm gonna get to. But before I get into that, let's talk a little bit about what the Octo Finissimo is all about. What makes it special? What makes it so unique in that integrated bracelet watch design space? And also, what makes it so criminally overlooked? Bulgari wasn't a watchmaker by trade. The Italian brand, founded in 1884 by a Greek silversmith, only started dabbling in men's watches in 1975 with the introduction of a solid gold quartz watch called the Bulgari Roma. Only 100 pieces were made, and these were made specifically to gift loyal clients of the brand. And this round shape became the blueprint of many of their future men's watches, including the watch that we now know as the Bulgari Aluminum. Now, the Finissimo is part of the Octo family, which also includes the Octo Roma. The original Octo has a very interesting story. Originally, the Octo wasn't part of Bulgari. The first Octo watch was created by Gerald Genta as part of his own brand that he founded in 1969. But in the year 2000, Bulgari took over both the Gerald Genta brand as well as its sister brand, Daniel Roth. This meant that Bulgari now had access to the extremely high-skilled workshops where Daniel Roth and Genta made their hot horology timepieces. So the first modern Octo under Bulgari's stewardship was released in 2012, featuring Bulgari's first ever in-house manufactured movement, the caliber BVL 193. Shortly after that, in 2014, the first Octo Finissimo was released in 40mm, designed by one of my all-time favorite watch designers, Fabrizio Bonamassa Stigliani, with the final form of the modern Octo Finissimo that now we all know. Since then, the Octo Finissimo has not just been an iconic design with its angular and stepped architectural case, but it has also been a template for the brand's experimentation in record-breaking ultra-thin calibers and high complications. We've seen ultra-thin tourbillons, perpetual calendars, minute repeaters, but the base model with the small seconds and the micro-rotor movement has been the blueprint of the Octo Finissimo. This is the definitive Octo Finissimo that we think of when we hear Octo Finissimo. Now, we've seen a lot of improvements, technical improvements since the first release, but one thing that never changed is how the watch wore on the wrist until now. This new release is just perfect. I love how it wears on my 6.2-inch wrist. While it is smaller, it still looks substantial enough not to lose its golf-like identity. It can still be identified as the Finissimo from across the room. Still has the ultra-thin design, super light on the wrist thanks to the sandblasted titanium construction, and the bracelet and clasp quality feels incredible. It doesn't feel lacking in any way. Personally, I love this sandblasted titanium look. It lacks that pretentiousness that sometimes high-polished watches can give off. The subdued finish is exactly what gives it its concrete character that is so clearly derived from historic Roman architecture. The new caliber BVF 100 is exceptionally finished. While Bulgari does partner up with specialist manufacturers when it comes to some of their high-complication ultra-thin movements, they still develop and manufacture a majority of their ultra-thin calibers in-house for the Octo Finissimo line. This is a brand new movement created specifically for this 37mm variant. It has improved robustness compared to the BVL138 found in the larger 40mm version, along with a higher power reserve of 72 hours instead of the previous 60 hours. This has been achieved by optimizing the barrel and adding a larger mainspring without increasing the overall size of the movement. The winding rotor is constructed out of solid platinum. The screws have an octagonal profile. You have beautiful perlage on the main plate, mirror polished bevels on the outer edges, and the bridges now feature radiating Geneva striping technique that is still quite rare to see in luxury watchmaking. For this price, if we are to see what else we can get in the market, we can get the new JLC Master Control Chronometer Power Reserve, GP Laureato, or the Blancpain 50 Fathoms in steel on a strap. But the fact that this comes on a grade 5 titanium case and bracelet with an ultra-thin in-house micro-rotor movement with finishing that is quite comparable to the JLC's, the price feels reasonable for what you're getting. But if I am being honest, there are a few challenges with this watch. One is the lack of marketing, the absolute silence from Bulgari of this watch's existence. If you think about it, most people that know about the Octo Finissimo are the hardcore watch people. But outside of that, Bulgari is just purely known for their jewelry, which is amazing. But the brilliance of the Octo Finissimo is not as mainstream as it should be. So when there's a lack of marketing, that can also lead to a lack in mainstream desirability. Another challenge around the watch has been that the Octo Finissimo only came in one size. If you wanted something more compact, you had to go with the Octo Roma, which not only lacked that beautifully finished ultra-thin movement, but also the overall sexiness and refinement of the Finissimo. You see, one thing that made the Nautilus and the Royal Oak so popular is just a few years after the first models were released, the brands immediately released few different sizes between small, medium, and jumbo. The Octo, since 2014, just stuck with one size. And while 40mm is a reasonable size on paper, because of the case shape, it tends to have a larger wrist presence, which again isn't something as timeless as a universally sized watch. But now that we have this smaller variant, I hope that it gets more attention now that it aligns with how most modern watches wear nowadays. Personally, I am so happy that this watch exists. I've always said that the Octo Finissimo is at that shifting point between the 70s style integrated watches and the more contemporary modern designs. To me, the Finissimo is that future icon that started that shift. Now, I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this new release? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.